Okay, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into the absolute blueprint for your grade 7 to 12 Chinese language journey. But, more importantly, we're going to apply this big picture stuff right down to your current goal, Unit 1, Lesson 6. We'll be using the ACTFL standards and HSK benchmarks to really nail today's vocabulary application task. So, let's get right into it.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover your course map, the 5 C's compass, some real-world tasks, a breakdown of what the HSK actually is, and finally, HSK levels 1 through 9.
All right, starting with Part 1, your course map, and where this whole journey begins.
So, your grade 7 to 12 course directory lays out this really robust, continuous pathway. It goes from Chinese I all the way through HSK V. But hey, to reach those super advanced, internationally recognized benchmarks at the very top, you've got to build a flawless foundation on that bottom step, right? For you in 7th grade, that means mastering accurate pinyin, precise tones, and essential vocabulary. And honestly, that is exactly what we're drilling down into with Unit 1, Lesson 6 today.
Now, as we move forward, I want you to keep this essential question in the back of your mind. How does language connect culture, identity, and community? Because, you aren't just memorizing characters here. You're literally learning to read the room. In your Lesson 6 tasks, you're figuring out how to infer meaning from context. That is such a vital skill, because true communication, it's all about understanding cultural nuances, not just doing a rigid word-for-word translation. Moving right along to Section 2, the 5 C's compass, which is going to be your guide.
So your coursework is actually built on a framework called the ACTFL 5 C's. That's communication, cultures, connections, comparisons, and communities. To put that into perspective, think about your Lesson 6 application test today. You aren't just practicing communication by speaking out loud. You're actually engaging in cultures and comparisons by, say, observing how a greeting in a classroom in Beijing totally differs from how you'd greet someone in your own school. You're bridging these big concepts directly through your everyday vocabulary. And really, the ultimate goal of all of this is intercultural communication. But okay, let's clear up a super common misconception right now for grade 7 beginners. A lot of students think tones in Mandarin are just about expressing emotion, kind of like raising your voice at the end of an English sentence to ask a question. No way. In reality, changing the tone actually changes the entire definition of the word. Like literally, saying ma instead of ma could mean you're calling someone mom instead of calling them a horse. Yeah, big difference. That right there is exactly why accurate pinyin and tones are absolutely non-negotiable for effective communication in Lesson 6.
Okay, Section 3, real-world tasks, and how we apply them.
There's a pretty stark contrast between just, learning words in a vacuum versus actually using them for real-world tasks. Let's do a worked application right now for Unit 1, Lesson 6. Imagine you walk into a room and you need to greet your teacher and a classmate. Instead of just mindlessly reciting ni hao, you can build a mini dialogue. You walk in, look at your teacher, and say la shi hao to show that proper respect. Then you turn to your friend and hit him with a casual ni hao. Boom! You just applied your vocabulary accurately in a short, super meaningful context. It's a total game changer.
All right, on to Section 4, what is the HSK, and what are your milestones?
So as you master these tasks, your overall proficiency is going to be measured by the HSK, which is the National Standardized Test for Chinese as a Second Language. Basically, it tests your ability to communicate in daily life, your studies, and eventually work environments. So, time for a quick student check. Think about this. If the HSK tests daily life communication, would knowing how to accurately pronounce your Lesson 6 greetings help you pass HSK Level 1? Absolutely, for sure. Those everyday foundational interactions are exactly the kind of thing examiners are listening for.
Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, HSK Levels 1 to 9, your ultimate destination.
The HSK 3.0 standards are neatly chunked out into beginner, intermediate, and advanced tiers. You're starting right there in the beginner tier, focusing on daily life and study, and you'll eventually build all the way up towards specialized, professional fluency in the advanced tier. But to help you conquer this beginner stage right now, I have an independent practice task for you for Lesson 6. I want you to write down a 3-line mini dialogue introducing yourself to a new classmate. Make sure you use proper pinyin and tone marks. Then practice saying it out loud over and over until those tones feel totally natural. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really think about this roadmap and the milestones ahead of you. By mastering today's Lesson 6 application task, you aren't just passing some grade 7 quiz. You're literally laying the very first brick in a bridge that connects you to over 1 billion speakers worldwide. Think about it.
When you can finally step off a plane in Beijing and confidently navigate a professional environment entirely in Mandarin, how is that going to reshape your understanding of who you are and what you're capable of? It's huge, right? But remember, that entire journey starts with a single syllable. So, get to work on that independent practice, and I'll catch you next time.